do tidy up the Discord or something. Maybe make the channel private. You could just mod me
Oh,
Um,
Verlux
if
is there.
no, we're fine now.
it's up to you.
We are live for those who
And then,
know. And
well,
yeah,
Hello.
sure, I can do that sometime. And
anyway,
I need to get to my channel and make sure it's working because like I'm a professional.
pro fash.
Yeah, exactly.
I prefer to bash the fash.
Oh my gosh. So hey, the chat does work this time. I'm so glad that it works. And hello. I am the Captain Falco, and this is background noise number 44. It's going to be fun this time because I think we have something to discuss. I think when it comes to sort of writing, because I've heard this guy. He's on his the last thing I saw him on was the his video Organized Chaos, and it was pretty good. He said he was trying to write something and how like there's a certain objectivity to art. So it's like, all right, we have something to go on. It's not just wishy-washy feelings or like a lack of substance. So I think we should get something out of this.
Have you seen this video before?
I have not. So I'm going
Oh
in
yeah, I guess you said that.
blind. But like but I have seen his videos before. So there should be something. But
So you're saying you wouldn't describe anyone in this video as a chunky monkey?
no, I wouldn't. That
Oh boy.
Okay,
that's
just making sure.
that's an interesting flavor. Um,
Just making
Yeah.
sure, you know.
Bree ain't got no cake, so.
I'm no, I'm protecting you.
I'm,
That's why I asked.
um, oh boy. Anywho, I'm taking a drink break. That's why. So I think we should go into the subject at hand. Let's see if I can get. Oh, there it is. Good. I'm glad. Like, technology is pretty amazing. Um, because like it will automatically go to the to this window now, instead of me having to click on it all the time.
Nice.
It's pretty great. Anyways, are we all
Oh,
ready? Are we all at the website?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sirroo.
Parental advisory, explicit content. Yeah.
Are we not going to do introductions?
Oh,
We're not doing that.
I thought we do. If you leave or plan to leave, you can always
All right.
do shout outs or something.
This is only my second time on, so I just didn't know if it was already.
Oh, yeah. If you want to do that, you can.
Is it his second time on? I believe it's his third or fourth.
No, it's the second.
Second. He should know his own continuity.
I've been in the chat a couple times, but
Oh, absolutely.
on,
That's why he's thinking
so.
that way. Uh-huh.
I mean, Dead Zed. I'm an undead, noir detective, Jason. That's about it. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, that's it. And there's very serious media, as he's been told. He memes.
Hi guys, I'm Vic. I'm a tiefling sent on a very important mission. Don't at me. That's it.
All video content and copyrights belong to the rightful owners. I should probably do stuff like this, but I just don't bother anymore because like it is a disclaimer off the Copyright Act of 1976. But like this is a nice one. I do appreciate these.
Wait. I know you're looking at the title of this video and thinking this is going to be me beating a dead horse, but trust me, this will be informative and will actually provide value instead of just dunking on Carol Danvers for 20 minutes. Yes, it would be easy, and some of that is in this video, but trust me, There's some good stuff in here. Just watch, I promise.
All right.
I'll take your word for it.
Looking forward to it.
I will take his word on it for for now.
When did this video come out?
Not too long ago, I don't think. Does he have an introduction?
Oh, I'm ready.
We completed the Dark mission and the Neutral mission. Now we have to complete the Hero mission. Before we get started, if you'd like to support me and check out a novel from an indie author, hit the link in the description and take a look at my sci-fi military series Blur Havoc. Or if you'd like, check out my Patreon, Subscribestar, or affiliate links. If anything, a like and subscription are enough. It would be much appreciated. Now, Carol Danvers is quite the divisive character in the MCU. Ask anyone and you'll probably get a varying degree of opinions on her. Some may...
It's like, what are our opinions of Carol Danvers? In the MCU, specifically. Not...
People still fight over her. I've seen the tweet.
The tweet.
This actually happened a day or two ago. I saw this tweet where somebody was praising Doctor Strange and Iron Man because they were able to take on Thanos for so long in Infinity War, and someone immediately responded with, "Well, so, are we just going to ignore Carol Danvers because she's a woman? She took on Thanos with all the stones. She should be praised too." And it looks like there's a reason we're praising Doctor Strange and Iron Man and not Carol Danvers, is because it was very hard for Doctor Strange and Iron Man to take on Thanos. Very hard.
And they lost.
I was gonna say they also lost.
But
I mean, if, I don't know why we're it's not like, I don't think the purpose, at least I assume the purpose of that tweet wasn't to make the assumption that Iron Man and Doctor Strange have similar power levels, because Doctor Strange is a lot stronger than Iron Man. But the fact is that, Iron Man at the very least, and Doctor Strange to an extent, are much less powerful than someone who has one Infinity Stone, let alone
all
as
five?
many as he did at the time.
I mean 4. But
Well, I think he had 4 at the time. But still, I mean, he's still the strongest person in the entire universe.
Well, the whole point of probing that question was not necessarily for the meta, but like the sort of the character of Carol Danvers, because her character seemed to be very self-assured, very quirky sometimes. It seems to be a grab bag of whatever she needs to be in order for a character to like progress.
Well, I'm just like, you notice how Thor is not grouped in there with them, because Thor actually did have a shot at killing Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah, why aren't we bringing up that fact? Like, Thor basically murked him in one shot, even though he got away.
Well, yeah, because he should have aimed for the head. Yeah.
Well, Thor still failed. I just mean that Thor had a real shot at killing him.
Also, what this person said, I don't think it's entirely true, anyways, because like, she took him on with all the stones. It's like, yeah, but she lost to one of them.
That's a great response. I'm going to use that next time I hear that.
Yeah, she got soloed by the Power Stone. Meanwhile, the Iron Man, Spider-Man, and the others were like dodging moon pieces.
Yeah, Iron Man took a hit from the Power Stone. Remember, he put up a shield and got pushed back, but he still stood his ground.
Well,
whereas Carol just got yeeted out of the scene.
I think that was kind of bullshit. I don't think that Iron Man should have been able to defend himself against the Power Stone like that.
I mean, fair enough, but we can still use that as a defense against Carol. So
yeah,
but
well, yeah, it happened.
But I do think it's true what this guy on screen said. The differentiate from the tweet is that, like, yeah, it is a very divisive character topic, because people just put the label of Mary Sue and move on sometimes without realizing what they're really saying.
Did you say divisive?
I think so. I don't know.
Potato.
Yeah.
No, in that case, it's just wrong.
Divisive, divisive. It's the same. It's the same word.
Divisive, divisive. I've heard both. Yeah.
Listen. I was in the zone. Okay. I don't know what's going on.
They say that she's powerful and impactful. Some will say she's mid and bland, but nothing to write home about or complain about. And then you get some who loathe her and point out all of the flaws in her character writing. Guess which party I'm in? Carol is a heavily flawed character for all of the wrong reasons. She comes across as a bloodthirsty, confused, prideful, and cynical hero in her 3 full appearances in the MCU.
Yeah. I
agree
can't
with
complain
that.
about that. Also,
I would have included that she has the morality of a child.
She's kind of
she has the morality of the writers. Like,
I think she comes across like that a lot more in her movie, but in Endgame, she barely had a character at all.
oh yeah, that's because like the
They
backlash.
barely wrote anything for her.
So
I wouldn't say that I agree with that statement completely, but maybe the sentiment behind it.
yeah. Well, in game was hurt by the meta that was Captain Marvel.
Oh, dude, Endgame was slaughtered by tons of meta. But yeah, sorry, you continue.
Well, the thing is though, like, it did make its money, but it definitely like it's tarnished the MCU as a whole because this started the whole noticing what a girl boss is by this point. It's like, wait a minute, this is interesting.
Well, it also opened the window for terrible writing continuously.
Yeah, because it made money, and they're like, why should we try? Like,
and to think we came so close to Thanos destroying it all and restarting. We came so close, but oh well.
I know.
Oh yeah, another thing. I'm gonna point it back real quick. I think this is his driving. I don't know why I think that. Yeah.
You gotta understand my frustration seeing Endgame and seeing Scarlet Witch come out to have vengeance on Thanos, and it's really cool. And I was like, oh yeah, I get to see Scarlet Witch take on Thanos. It's awesome. And then years later, Multiverse of Madness came out, and she was an evil, horrible bitch.
Well, that's WandaVision for you.
Don't forget overpowered.
Well, yeah. I liked her as a glass cannon. It's like, yeah, she's really powerful, but she's still a normal person. It's like, yes.
Yeah, a conk to the head is gonna knock her out.
Exactly. Yeah. Anywho.
See you. And standing next to a character like, say, Steve Rogers, Carol seems like the kind of person Steve would butt heads with constantly. So since this is the 3rd verse, it'll be the same as the first. Let's break down the pillars needed to make a good hero, which, to be honest, is a lot harder than making a villain. And as you'll see, there's a lot of synergy between these aspects. Here are the 5 attributes of a hero. The avatar of virtue, code and ethics and the source of it, sense of duty, the suffering, and temperance. Let's break these down since some of these sound pretty esoteric and abstract. The avatar of a virtue. What virtue does your hero epitomize? What value or trait are they meant to personify? Is it diligence, justice, freedom, truth? Whatever it is, your hero has to model their actions based on following this virtue. If you're so inclined, your hero can be the avatar of multiple virtues if they work well together. Just remember that you're making a hero here, so the virtue should be something positive. Code and ethics.
Oh, yeah, that list of things, I don't disagree. I'm kind of enjoying it, to be fair.
I think he could have included more, because the thing I immediately thought of was what's Punishers, and I thought, well, I guess vengeance, justice,
yeah,
that kind of stuff. So it still works.
Is that are you saying you see Punisher as a hero? Like that's what they're characterizing him as?
I'm saying he could have. I agree with his points, but maybe he should have included outliers such as Punisher to, basically
You
Well, I
can.
would argue that Punisher's not a hero. He's
Yeah,
definitely not a hero.
He isn't, but like he is
at
someone you want to root for, and for that you need a source of
But
virtue.
at
so
the
to be
most. Oh, sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. At the most, Punisher is an anti-hero.
Yeah.
That's like best faith interpretation, because I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think he's not making a video on how to make a good protagonist. He's saying a hero.
Okay.
Yeah.
True.
So like Walter White is the protagonist that a lot of people want to like
Root
succeed.
For. Yeah.
They root for him, but he's not a hero.
I feel like that could be an interesting video in and of itself, but that's a different topic. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there are protagonists that are not necessarily like Light Yagami, for example, not a good person.
Penguin.
Yeah,
Penguin.
exactly like
Well,
even
Light Yagami is a villain.
even Angel is about a hero, which I'm watching right now. He definitely skirts the line sometimes between like what he's doing is right and wrong.
I think even to call yourself an anti-hero, you have to have some underlying virtue that you will prioritize over some selfish gain. Like somebody who, let's say, like used to be really successful at their job, but then, and their job was at a hospital, but they got disillusioned with the system and they got fired, and now they opened up an illegal clinic, but they only take certain clientele, but like if the push comes to shove, they will still help someone.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. You almost did a Batwoman with the.
I was thinking about it, and then I was like, well, I was like, well, how about instead I actually do a better job, because I started off with the person being a fully qualified
doctor.
So
you are not qualified.
Gabe.
Yeah.
The best Batwoman scene in the entire show.
Anyways.
What are the lines your hero will not cross no matter what? If they had a gun to their head and were told, either you break your code or I shoot you right between the eyes, what is the one thing that would make them respond, then shoot me? Do they have a no-kill rule? Do they have a religion? Do they only kill? Are they sober and straight-laced? Once you figure that out, then you need to explain why they have that code. Where did it come from? Why do they hold it so close to the heart? Sense of duty. This one.
It's kind of interesting because he said like, "Do not kill" rule, or do they kill only? It's like that really sounds like Punisher to me. Like
Well, at the same time, you have plenty of heroes in the MCU that kill people. They don't like go out trying to kill people. That's the difference.
Like
so,
I think Captain America fits that line because like he to defend himself, he'll kill you. Like,
well, I was gonna say basically all of the Avengers except Spider-Man, I guess.
True. Yeah. Because they're all different people. He didn't mind killing those villagers. I mean Iron Man. Iron Man.
Oh yeah.
Like it's
right, Iron Man.
He came
Sorry,
in.
You said villagers, and I just thought of Resident Evil 4.
I was gonna say, well, I would call them the terrorists. The villagers were at the mercy of the terrorists. He didn't kill the villagers.
Yeah. He didn't kill the villagers, but he did kill the terrorists in charge of the village. Yeah, that's what I meant. Oh my gosh, that makes me sound like a freaking psychopath.
And then you have Riri Williams, Ironheart, who is willing to shoot explosives at police officers for just doing your job.
Yeah, but that was cool.
Oh man. Again, I'm watching.
She cheered, which means we're supposed to enjoy it.
Oh, I really do. I'm sorry, but like one of the things I always remember from people cheering at something was like when in Transformers 2 during the beginning when that giant robot slices the other robot in half, and people are like, "Yay!" and I'm like, I have no idea what just happened.
You remember The Amazing Spider-Man 2 when Electro's going nuts and people cheer Spider-Man when he saved one person? Like it's a rock concert or something?
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, I think, like, thinking about, like, does your hero never kill or always kill? I still think there's that underlying, like, if, the part of it that should characterize your hero as someone who kills in self-defense. Because if you don't, then you're basically willing to cross the line, like the legal line, and take the law into your own hands.
Yeah.
In the worst way possible.
Some people won't disobey the law like at all. Like, but they'll still try to do what they need to do.
It's been on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
It's been on my mind a lot just because I finished up the Netflix Daredevil show, and my God, it's it's
really good.
It's really, really good, and the third season especially. I mean, they kind of do this like all throughout the show, but the third season really tests Daredevil's code of ethics.
That's what you do.
He really questions it. Really, like they take the whole season to basically have him constantly questioning his ethics, and it's only right at the end that I think they do a great job of having you really believe that, all right, maybe just, this is the one person who he has to kill, because they just make it a no-win situation. There's nothing else that he can do to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
And they still manage, well, I won't spoil it, but they still manage to like surprise you.
Well, what I was thinking of was Invincible, where he starts out as the bright-eyed, eager hero, and he doesn't kill, he just beats up. But as the seasons go on, it's like you have to be a bit more, basically. And then at the end of season 2, he kills someone out of rage, and it's like, oh God, I killed, because he hasn't done that before. And then later on in season 3, it gets to a point where it's like, okay, these threats are getting too huge. I'm gonna have to kill them. Because what I'm saying is, you can have a character whose ethics change, and that can be interesting to see how it affects them. Yeah. That's a bit of an outlier, but yeah, that's what I thought of.
That's what I'm gonna do in my story. So, ethics beat.
Nice.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm watching the Buffyverse right now, and Angel and Buffy, for other than research, but also like for enjoyment. Is that, like, especially Angel is a lot like a Daredevil situation, where it's like he works out of his lair of sorts, and he practices a PI, but he doesn't have a license. But he's told to go out and help the helpless in order to fulfill a prophecy. So
nice.
And so he has to deal with a bunch of things, like in order to get your humanity back, you kind of have to do all this good stuff, but it always challenges certain ethics and certain things that didn't really challenge them before. Like, Angel's the more mature version of I should say more mature, but definitely darker version of the Buffy show. So it's like, it is a lot like Batman and Daredevil and stuff like that. So this is what you do.
The Buffy crowd grew up.
I'd say sometimes it's the same, but you know what I mean. It's the this sort of what you cross to obtain those goals, then you have the bad guys are now trying to get him to change back to what he was, so he can't fulfill the prophecy. So it's like, what? Anywho, I will move on. There's a video.
It's pretty binary. Does your character follow their code of ethics and virtue when they have every reason not to? Even when their friends, family, and lover are all telling them to fold on their values, do they hold true to themselves? The suffering. Your hero has to suffer. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. It's just the way it is.
I actually, that might be something.
Have to suffer.
I kind of disagree.
I think I understand what he means, but the wording is a bit
yeah, that's true, because suffering doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna lose everybody they love at one point.
There has to be a toll, a price to doing the hero work, I'd say.
Is he?
Yes.
Yeah, because maybe he's just again, it was also with sense of duty. I mean, I don't think he's saying that it can only be that the hero is following his or her sense of duty, because again, Daredevil, there's a point where he's actually considering going against his code of ethics, and everyone around him is like, no, you wouldn't do this. you have a code of ethics, you shouldn't do it, and he's struggling to actually find a reason to go back to his code of ethics. So I don't think it's a he said it was a binary, but I don't think he means like it has to be this way or not, otherwise they're not a hero.
Yeah, because there are heroes who don't suffer as much, but I wouldn't call them any more or less heroes.
Like, I think he probably put this here because, to an extent, if you want to make a hero
compelling, I guess,
more compelling, I guess there has to be something that pushes them into, like, the hero's journey. Like with Luke, like, it would have been more surprising if his parents had been like, you know what, Luke, you know how I said I need you for another season? Well, you know what, I think you just need to go out there and be your own man. It's like, okay, this is a really interesting change
actually,
of opinion here.
That'd be kind of interesting. Instead of like he visits his parents once, like not his parents, but like he realizes like, why didn't imagine he had a conversation with them about like his like, Obi-Wan gave me to you? Really? It's like had that conversation about his about his father coming on to it before. Like, what was he like?
It's funny. I was doing a thought experiment. I was like, all right, let's take Riri Williams. What has she suffered? I'm like, she suffered a teacher basically saying that she'll never be Iron Man. That was basically it.
I just
was like,
I
was just gonna say, like, consider it like just talking about Luke Skywalker for a minute. I could probably think of a way that he might have been called into, being a hero if his parents hadn't been killed, like his aunt and uncle. But I don't think it would have been as organic, because we don't really get a sense for what Luke is going to do, like what he wants to do. He just wants to kind of get out of his mundane life and stretch his legs a little bit. But it's really only the shocking loss of his parents after he's learned what he's learned from Obi-Wan that drives him to do it.
He wants to learn more because, as he says, there's nothing for me here now.
Yeah, whereas before, when he thought his parents were still alive, I'm going to call them his parents because they are.
Yeah.
When he thought his parents were alive, after hearing this crazy lore dump from Ben, he's just like, yeah, well, I can't do that. I'm needed back at the farm. Because that's what a normal person would do. Like, no, I can't just go on this crazy adventure. I have responsibilities. I got homework.
I got homework.
I can't go to Germany. I've got homework.
Yeah.
But anyway.
This one is often in tandem with the first two. One of the reasons your character has to suffer is so that they are pushed to break their code, but their code has to be stronger than the intensity of the suffering. There's a reason the Metal Gear Solid 1 canon ending is the one where you don't give in to Ocelot's torture. The other reason is that a hero who suffers in their origin makes the payoff of the hero's final form, so to speak, much more satisfying. Temperance.
Final form more... I find that really interesting because, like, it does give off like the catharsis to the audience and like, ooh, they actually came through. Like, like I sort of, I kind of agree, but, I have this thought in my head, but I can't reach it.
Not
grab a chair.
Grab a chair.
Good one.
Oh, I get it. Oh, okay. You mean a footstool? Yeah, true.
Of the writer, are you controlling yourself when it comes to the positive or cool aspects of your hero? Are you using the negative emotions and moments or suffering in moderation? Is the experience of your hero well balanced, or are they either too well off or perpetually tortured? To keep this comparison fair,
you know what?
Only use.
No, what?
Did you pause the same I did?
Yeah.
You know what? That's something I don't think enough people do think about. It's like you have to get a hold of yourself when writing a character. You can't just make them everything you think is cool in people, and you can't just make them a sponge for punishment. You have to balance it out.
Well, yeah, because it's, well, again, I'll bring up shows. It's like you can't just have them suffer all at once, because then but then you have to write something else going on later on in the story. I think it's kind of funny. I think Batwoman is a big victim of this. When I saw it, it's like everything bad happens in one episode, and then another really bad thing happens all in one episode the next time. Like, these payoffs are way too quick, and these sort of things that they're doing with her are really cool to a sense of a viewer, but it's like, it's nothing but payoffs. It's nothing but like it's constant payoffs instead of letting things simmer or boil.
And the setups are often really weak.
Yeah, and like, they don't let things set up, because instead of like letting them happen, it just happens drastically. It's like it doesn't feel earned. Like, they don't know what to write for the next thing. Like, it makes them look incompetent.
And if we're gonna talk about what Zeddy said about like making your hero a sponge for punishment, is it fair to bring up Peter Parker?
I was thinking of that too.
It depends which Peter Parker we're talking about.
Or hell, Mark from Invincible too.
Yeah, it's true.
Are they a sponge for punishment, or are they just how can I say it? Like,
Mark goes through a lot in the comics.
Is he occasionally like a sponge for punishment, and then he goes to like being normal? Or
no, it's like fairly constant, to be honest.
Okay.
He loses a lot throughout the Invincible comics.
Okay.
I would go so far as to say they kind of squished down like a lot, like most of what Spider-Man has endured into Mark in his entire run.
So, but does it work though for that story?
I think it works most of the time.
Do you think it's too harsh? Do you think it's too harsh?
It can get there, but it's not. It doesn't feel like the writers hate Mark. It feels more like they want to put him through a ton of adversity. I think they might go a little far, but I don't think they hate him. You know?
How far do you push your character? It's kind of funny. How far do you push your characters until they become unrecognizable, and they have to go back to a normal state? I think there's a balance between there, because sometimes characters do sort of get out of your hands, and you just write them, and then you're like, or that's the purpose of it. A lot of self-insert characters have this sort of trouble too of being too cool. Like, I can't remember a self-insert character that
I don't know.
Velma. Velma. Good one.
Oh, yeah.
She's a self-insert character. She's like the particular thing, everything revolves around her. And like, she's the voice of reason. But also she's like, but I think she's too aware, because sometimes it's self deprecating. It's like, it really comes off as like really bad sense of humor on her part, but it's still her.
Yeah.
Not every self-insert is the same. Not every self-insert is the same.
I wouldn't call it a self-insert, but Kratos, in like the first 3 games, I feel like he was kind of like
a sponge.
How cool is this character?
He's also a hate sponge. Yeah.
And then yeah, he's a sponge too, now that I think about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But what I was going for more so was that, like, I feel like that was just the writers being like, oh yeah, look at how cool this guy is. Ain't it fun to place him? And then the Norse mythology saga was like, how about we explore what that actually does to a person?
Hold on. I don't actually agree with that. I admit that there are some moments in God of War where it's like, yeah, Kratos is a badass, but
absolutely,
God of War 3 especially makes it very clear to the audience that Kratos is an asshole.
Oh, absolutely.
He is a pure, unbridled asshole.
But
oh yeah, I'm not trying to say they're saying he's right. I'm just saying I think he was created more so for entertainment rather than exploring a character.
Yes.
No, they still explore a character in the original games, especially Ascension.
It's very broad.
But not like the balance between entertainment and exploration, I feel, was a lot more balanced in the Norse saga than it was in the Greek saga.
Correct. In fact, it's not even half. Like,
I mean, I agree. I love his character more in the Norse games, but I don't want anybody to think that we're denying the development that he went through in the original games.
Oh yeah,
he did. He went through stuff.
Like,
he went through stuff in the Greek games, but I'm just saying, I don't think that was the biggest focus when they were making his character.
It's a badly told story. Okay, I don't care if I get heat for that. Like,
I think they just prioritized the player's enjoyment in the gameplay over Kratos learning from the actions of his consequences, because they definitely do that. Like, they present a lot of situations to Kratos like, hey, by the way, you're a bad person, and Kratos is like, yeah, I'm a bad person, but I'm so angry that I'm not gonna like deal with that right now.
Mm-hmm.
His response to that is like, okay, I'll kill myself.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I feel like games can get away with that more because gameplay is another focus. Whereas when you're reading a book or watching a show, you have no control. So you're like, you just better give me interesting characters, you know?
Well, yeah. The plot and character is most important to me.
Anyways, we got kind of sidetracked.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's what this is supposed to do. Great discussion.
Well, I mean, we're 4 minutes in.
First full 3 appearances versus Carol's first 3 full appearances. First, what virtue are these characters avatars of? Well, Steve is easy. It's justice. He always tries to be fair and fight for what is right. In Captain America 1, Steve has every personal reason to let the plane with the bombs destroy American cities so that he can survive. But that wouldn't be just or fair to the innocent lives in his country. So he, as far as he knew, sacrificed himself to save millions of lives. He also knows that it's not necessarily fair to condemn Bucky to death for actions he had no control over in Winter Soldier. Bucky fell down a cliff, then was recovered and brainwashed into a mind-controlled attack dog by Hydra. If you want, you can also include truth as another virtue, since his actions in Winter Soldier show us that he cares more about revealing the truth behind Hydra's takeover of S.H.I.E.L.D. than his own life. There are other examples in later films, but again, trying to keep this fair. Carol, on the other hand...
So, were all those things fair? I think they are.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
You know, I was initially going to say she doesn't have one, but Carol's virtue actually seems to be vindictiveness. I was scouring...
I don't think being vindictive is a virtue. Is a virtue.
It's like you had it right the first time when you said she doesn't have a virtue.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of it. Like, what is her virtue?
That's not a virtue, though. But
I know I didn't. I'm saying what do we think her virtue is?
Vindictive is vindictive
truth.
that accurate, though?
I think truth.
Because
I just looked up vindictive, disposed to revenge, vengeful, prompted or characterized by revenge.
Having or showing a strong or unreasoning desire for revenge.
I don't know if that's accurate, because I feel like
vindictive,
righteous might be more accurate, because she didn't seem very vengeful. I didn't get a vengeful vibes when she was going after the Kree. I just got like, I'm right, you're wrong, therefore I beat you, you know? It wasn't like the Punisher, where he like seems to take pleasure in a lot of the stuff he does.
I think it could be truth, because she wants the truth about her mind wipe. But that's only for a scene, right?
Well, that's why I said righteousness. She thinks she's right all the time.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, were you going for like she believes in the pursuit of truth as a virtue?
Only
maybe.
No, I don't think so.
Because I wouldn't
think
say
No.
that's not a virtue inherently, because you can say, "Oh, I'll pursue the truth at any cost," like Odin.
True.
Well, I was more so going for like she always seems to believe she's right, but I guess that's not a virtue. I'm trying to nail it down.
Well,
what hers is.
I just think it's the writer thinks she's virtuous by thinking she's right all the time. So
through all of Carol's actions throughout her 3 movies, and the one moment that stuck out the most to me was in the Marvels, where she flies to the Kree homeworld and destroys the Supreme Intelligence with absolutely zero foresight towards the consequences. She never thinks about how destroying a super smart AI that basically handled all logistics towards life on Hala would create a civil war that resulted in a planet-wide holocaust.
Imagine having this kind of character in Star Trek.
Well, that moment in and of itself is really fucking stupid, because destroying the AI somehow
shut off the sun.
Yeah, shut off the fucking sun is
They
like
accidentally
how?
wrote her as a villain. I mean, again,
yeah.
They tried to give her a flaw, and they just made her the biggest villain in the entire universe.
the villain's
Outside
like,
of Thanos.
"Hey, you're responsible for the destruction of the entire world," and she's like, "Oh yeah."
And the thing is, have you guys seen the how it should have ended for the Marvels? They have Carol going to the sun, and the Kree are like, "Oh, finally we'll have the sun turned on." The sun turns on, and they all burn to a crisp, because that's how it would work. And then it just cuts to her, like, depressed in the villains pub, and all the villains are laughing at her, and they're like, "Geez, and I thought I was evil," and she's like, "I'm the hero." Oh, it's so good.
Right here.
That's pretty good, actually. Yeah,
I love that video. It's so accurate.
I love that. It's just like, yeah, Carol can just fly into the fucking sun and restart it. What the fuck?
Here's the thing. I wouldn't
you restart the sun, it's gonna kill everyone.
I don't even mind that as a superpower, really, or whatever. It's just that, yeah, they're like, that's comic books and sort of like that. But it's like, you have to act responsibly with them. We've been watching Superman the animated series, and like, he takes everybody's like thoughts into consideration whenever he does something. It's like, yeah, duh.
I don't know. With Carol, like, I don't even think it's fair to compare to Superman. There are a lot of things to appreciate about Superman, but with Carol, like, the fact that she can do that, it's like, and even like, how are you supposed to create any stakes when your hero can just go into the sun?
And even just
what I'm trying to say is, like,
sorry.
Oh no, it's just I'm comparing it to a cartoon made for like kids, and it's like, how are you so much better, like, than a multi-billion-dollar company that writes for adults?
Has nothing to. Yeah, it's down to talent and creativity.
I know, it's just weird.
I know. Look, I know Zack Snyder is contentious, obviously, but having Superman, just character-wise, having Superman fail the first time he tries to fly, that's more failure than Captain Marvel ever experienced in any of her movies. It's like, even Snyder got something right at one point. About that.
From a certain point of view, you could argue that Superman fails quite a bit in that movie.
Yeah, he's like, oops.
Even when the movie doesn't.
Okay,
but
Krypton had its chance.
They don't acknowledge that one until the sequel, though. So
you could argue that Superman's a little vindictive in that movie.
Yes, he is. He's like,
Krypton had its chance.
You think you could threaten my mother?
Yeah. Anyways.
Dude, that's.
He busts into the lair of the Supreme Intelligence and brutally slaughters a bunch of people on her way to it, including caving in the fucking ceiling on Dar-Ben. If Dar-Ben didn't have plot armor, this would have fucking killed her. Mind you, this happened directly after the events of the first Captain Marvel, so this comes across as a bull-headed retaliation against the Supreme Intelligence for...
I wonder if he's going to bring up the point where Captain Marvel goes through all those ships that she used to call friends and says, "Woohoo!
Woo!"
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, What if there were other people who were brainwashed into the Kree like you fucking bitch?
Yeah, they didn't all seem to be the same species.
Anywho, yeah, I just want to bring that up.
Manipulating her rather than a rational decision made for strategic purposes. Then there's the scene where she decides to steal a guy's motorcycle because he told her to smile. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before, but I can't get over how that scene is shot like Carol is the victim of an assault or something. It's just fucking funny to me. But anyway, part of the definition of vindictive is a strong or unreasoning desire for revenge. Stealing a guy's bike because he said you should smile is not a good reason. Next, we have code and ethics. With Steve, one of the lines he refuses to cross is sacrificing the lives of others or letting others die when he has the power to do something. He is perfectly fine with sacrificing his own life for a cause, but he will never volunteer someone else for the slaughter.
That's true. And
that is true. Yeah.
In the first Avenger, he does it himself. And Winter Soldier, he takes it upon himself to stop Bucky, to not only to stop Bucky, but also make sure that these things get taken down, even though it's the cost of everyone else.
Can I just say, if anyone here hasn't seen the first Avenger, or in a long time, do yourself a favor and go watch it.
It's good.
Oh yeah,
or rewatch
I haven't seen it in such a long time. I probably need to watch it again.
It's one of my favorite. I've always been more of a Cap boy than an Iron Man boy. The first Avenger is my favorite Phase 1 movie and one of my favorite MCU movies.
I went down a Phase 1 lead up to Avengers revisit, and man, it is quite a treat.
It's not perfect, but not in that way. But like man, it's fun. It's entertaining. It's got some good stuff in it. Really great stuff too.
Those characters, oh boy.
Oh, dude, my favorite part might be when he knocks the flagpole down. That's one of my favorite moments in the entire MCU. And he just folds it up. He's like, "Thank you, sir." Gets in the truck.
Because he's like, I earned it because I thought of.
It reminds me of Mulan.
Yeah, I was about to say that, where it's like she uses leverage instead of just doing it by force.
I actually thought you were gonna reference the scene where he jumps on the grenade.
That's good too. Same vein, but my favorite's the flag.
That just shows character, and then the flag one shows shows how he can think outside the box. Like
he used his brain and beat the others.
Mm-hmm. Because they're using their power to bully the flag.
It's like I just realized it reminds me of a Looney Tunes thing where Bugs is standing on the other side of a cliff and there's a rope and a gorilla's trying to get to him. Bugs is like, "Take one step on that rope and I'll cut it." And then he just pulls it to him.
He's like,
it's not 1-to-1, but like it just makes me think of that in a funny way. It's like the gorilla being smart.
I love that scene. It's like rope. It's like, oh crap.
Oh.
Good stuff.
Not only is there the aforementioned plane crash in Captain America 1, but there's also the moment earlier when he jumps on what he believes is a
there it is
to save everyone else's lives. Then in the climax of Winter Soldier, he knows Bucky can't control himself, so he willingly allows Bucky to beat him within an inch of his life.
Oh, such a great scene.
He can't bring himself to kill Bucky when he cannot consent to the actions his body is taking. He simply refuses to allow innocent lives to be lost if he can help it. Upon further analysis,
this also is in Avengers.
Hard Rock Cafe? Jeez.
Yeah, it is.
Don't say too many of those.
Oh my gosh, he's in that's the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum. Oh.
Really?
Yeah. This is in what's that other place in Vegas? It's not Vegas. It's the other place.
Reno?
No, it's not Reno. It's Vegas if owned by Ned Flanders. Because there's no gambling.
I don't know.
Branson. This is Branson, Missouri.
This has turned into a game of GeoGuessr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, But anyways, it shows in the Avengers too when he goes up against Loki. It's like he takes it upon himself, and he's like,
That's so good.
huh? Oh yeah, and then he goes after he goes after Thor too. He's like, they're basically gods. Like, there's only one god I believe in, and he goes after him anyway. Like,
so many. There's only one god, man.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he doesn't dress like that.
Yeah. Does one more? Does your oh, we're doing Shakespeare in the Park?
Yeah.
Doth mother know you weareth her drapes?
Joss Whedon know how to write.
So
good.
Back then, yeah.
Yeah.
Joss Whedon made some good movies.
Oh, he also kind of started the apocalypse, but you know,
hey,
that's okay.
Listen, Resident Evil 4 is not responsible for Resident Evil 6. Okay.
I know. But Joss is
the reason why Steve is such a
Justice
stalwart
League,
for the innocent, the weak, and those who have been taken advantage of is because he was there himself before he took the serum. Carol, on the other hand, doesn't seem to have a code. She steals from people who say things she doesn't like. She abandons Alatna.
Hey, look, the Titanic.
And her green card husband to doom when she brought the fight against Dar-Ben to them in the first place, and she allows innocent lives to be stranded on Tarnax and makes no attempt to collect them. That last one is especially bizarre since the obvious layup from a writing perspective would have been for Carol to try all she could to save everyone, but she just didn't have enough time. That way, it shows that
especially when
the scroll's lives.
What?
Especially when she can fly at the speed of light.
Well,
yes.
You don't want to do that with other people, but yes.
True, but you could do something, Carol.
Oh, absolutely.
What makes all of this so painful is that there is no logic or reason to any of these actions. Carol just responds to situations the way the writer wants her to respond to these situations. The writers will consistently have her be described as a beacon of hope when she's a thieving, cynical, hopeless, bloodthirsty, and careless jackass.
Wow. Tell us how you really feel.
He did not hold back.
Nope.
For a sense of duty, this is pretty self-explanatory for Steve. He owes nothing to Bucky, and he has every reason to abandon him and condemn him to death. But he doesn't because Bucky is his best friend, and one of the few people in his life who didn't judge him because of how scrawny he used to be. And again, pretty self-explanatory for Carol as well. She clearly felt no sense of duty for the people of Tarnax as she abandoned large swaths of them with little to no reluctance. I must reiterate for that one guy part I have a problem with, but also she felt no sense of duty to return to Earth to see Monica Rambeau after her mother Maria passed away while she was blipped. For a girl she considered her niece, she didn't seem to really care about her all that much.
Well,
yeah,
that's fair.
Well,
that's fair because she didn't care about when she learned that she was human, she didn't go back to Earth to search for her biological parents. So that fits. That fits.
I can't. Sorry, you just brought up a memory. I can't get over the fact that Carol was told that she has parents. Mm-hmm. She didn't get along with them, and it's like, oh, okay, I'll never go look for them. Like, your parents, your god darn parents, and you don't care to look for them when you just found out that you're on the planet that they're on. You don't want to visit their grave. You don't want to see if they're alive. You don't want to see if maybe your dad regretted what he did to you. Maybe he fell into a depression when she disappeared. Maybe he regretted what he did. You could have a heartfelt scene.
Yeah. What you have is an endless basket of those things, and they threw it out and dumped it in the trash compactor. Like, it's like, all right.
Captain Marvel sucks in the
movie. No kidding. It's kind of funny because like I'm gonna put that up in my story where it's like she's gonna run into like her heritage. So that'd be something. Yeah.
the suffering. God, Steve has suffered. Before he even became Cap, he was constantly bullied, picked on, looked over, and beat up over his small size.
Man,
not
I can't get over.
Sort of, but I'll add flavor to that, sort of, because I don't think he was bullied for being small. He stood up to people when no one else would. That's why he got beat up there, because he wouldn't shut up during the theater, and he said, "Hey, do you mind?" And he took it personally, and then they had a fight.
So I get I mean, I think this is an inference, but I mean, he's 5'4", skinny, has a laundry list of ailments.
Yes.
I mean, he's being turned down by the army, like literally just for the asthma alone.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But a guy like him most certainly would have been bullied.
Oh, absolutely. It's just that we don't see that in the movie, but it's definitely inherent because
well, you look at Bucky's reaction. I know this because I wouldn't know this unless I had seen it recently. But like Bucky actually is the one who saves him here.
Yes.
And says like, "Stop! I'm starting to think you enjoy it." Basically, like sometimes I think you like getting hit.
Well,
which implies I think that he has been in this situation many times before.
Oh yeah,
where
it
he
shows.
Puts himself like he might have. I think he, as a result of stepping in against bullies, he himself would have been bullied just on that basis alone.
Yeah, he says later on
that
I don't like bullies. I don't care where they're from. I think that kind of implies it's not exactly that he gets bullied because of his size. I think he puts himself into situations that cause a bully to go after him.
Yeah. He has been bullied because he's trying to take the attention away from other people. Like, no, don't bully that person, bully me. But the thing is that the bully, well, he's going to be scared off by someone like Bucky because he's a tall, strong guy. But Steve, as much as he's a fighter, he's just not built the same way. He can't throw his weight around.
Yeah. Also, this isn't really related, but like, man, I can't get over how good they made Chris Evans look, like 5'4", skinny, and this was in 2011. Just they actually put effort into that.
Back then, for sure. I would say even now it holds up pretty well. It does. I mean, some shots look better or worse than others.
This shot makes him look like he's in Planet of the Apes, but
when he's shirtless, it's very easy to spot that it's just Chris Evans'
the cutoff.
head. Yeah.
Right at his neckline, you're just like, oh, that's just not. Yeah, that's not him.
Pay no attention to that person below the neckline.
There's just like a sweet spot in the technology because they still use practical stuff to get basically give the visual effects artists every opportunity they had to make it look good, as opposed to nowadays where they literally just they do the shot with the green screen. They're like, hey, okay, here CGI guys, do something.
Here's a fun fact. I don't know if Shep knows this, but in the scene where Steve gets the super serum, and he's this really buff guy. I can't remember if it's the nurse. I believe it's both the nurse and Peggy, the actress for Peggy Carter. The nurse keeps looking at Chris Evans' abs and his chest constantly, and there's even that part where Peggy almost puts her hand on his chest.
Yeah.
Apparently those parts were unscripted. They were just,
I like to imagine that's the first time they saw him shirtless, like after the workout.
That's way better too, because I loved her reaction of like she broke character, like her in universe, I'm supposed to be this very serious. I'm like very serious military. Oh my god, the abs. Oh, back to normal. I'm serious.
And then she asks, "How do you feel?" And the humble virgin Chad just says, "Taller."
Anyways, back to the this version right here. It looks like it's like
version Chad.
Yeah.
Back to Carol Danvers.
Then when he became Cap, his best friend seemingly died, and he was frozen in the Arctic for 40 years.
Oh, that's right.
And
We're on
was
the suffering
unable to be
part.
with the woman he had fallen in love with. He wakes up as a man out of his own time and a stranger in his own country, with almost none of his family, friends, or brothers in arms alive anymore. Then in Winter Soldier, his best friend turns out to be alive, but he's been brainwashed by Hydra and is now trying to kill him.
I'm glad this is put as suffering, because when people usually admit suffering, it's their own suffering to like physical harm. And like it's
This is like
it's like
seeing your friends.
there's mental harm, and there's different, and I think mental harm is actually a lot better for writers to do, because there's only so much physical harm you can do. And when mental harm is put upon your main character, you get a lot more drama from it, because it's such a wide range of what you can do to a character.
Well, yeah, Cap doesn't give a shit about physical harm. Like as he says, I can do this all day. You know.
Well, yeah, but now it's like,
well,
yeah.
Well, you can definitely. I mean, it's already implied that Cap is someone who's almost always putting himself in these situations where he'll take his max capacity of physical harm. By his very nature, he will step in when someone needs his help in a fight.
Yep. It's
he will plant himself like a tree.
It's like like versus Loki. He does. He's like Neil, not today. It's like
this just makes me want to watch every Cap MCU movie now. I want to watch First Avenger. I want to watch Avengers. I want to watch Winter Soldier, and I want to watch Civil War now.
The last time I was in Germany, and a man stood above everyone saying that he knew what was best, he disagreed.
He disagreed.
Oh, also, I love. You got the old man, standing up to Loki. Loki says, "Look to your elder people. Let him be an example." And then Cap, the World War II veteran, drops in, blocks the shot, bounces it back at Loki. It's like, oh,
I love that too. He's like, "I'm not bound down to you." This old guy like stands up to him.
Oh, it's like Cap is their elder because he's from World War II, and he is an example to all of them. You know.
Mm-hmm. And it's like it's representing the American spirit in Germany. It's freaking great. It's like
I wonder if that guy was in World War II.
He probably was.
That's what I thought they were. That's what I thought they were going for. Like he lived inside Nazi Germany, and I was like, wow, characterizing an elderly citizen from Germany who lived in World War II Germany as a victim, like that's wow, it's amazing.
No film always ever like you.
No, well, what other film can you think of that characterized someone who lived in Germany back then as a victim?
Yeah, that's
Schindler's List.
Who? Oh,
yes. Oh, good example. Great example, actually. But I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't think of that. That's a great example.
Anywho, sorry, Ted. Do you have any more?
Nope.
No, I'm good.
Okay, sorry.
He also finds out that the government of his country that he loves has been taken over by said Hydra, and the amount of people he could trust was dwindling fast. And again, this isn't even counting the things that he went through after Winter Soldier. Carol, I'm sure you've heard this before, but Carol doesn't really suffer that much, to be honest.
We just keep talking about Cap.
Was a lady she didn't really know that
no.
well, and she died. But the first film makes it seem like Carol cared about her a lot, despite the minimal screen time Marvel had, and the fact that she wasn't even really mentioned by Carol in the sequel. Maria dies. Yes.
I have to sneak away for a minute or so, but you guys can keep going if you want.
Okay.
I'll be right back. Yeah.
So what even? He brings up a good point. Like, what even was Carol's relationship to Marvel? Because we barely see any of it.
Couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
It just seems like a teacher that you like and teaches you well and you look up to, but like I didn't get the strongest sense of connection between them as I like, not even compared to, how do I put this? It felt like if Steve Rogers and Tommy Lee Jones's character was like the heart of Captain America, the first Avenger. It's just like, nah, it's not strong enough. It's fine, but it's not strong enough, you know?
Mm-hmm. So, should we continue?
Well, we're waiting for Falco, aren't we?
Oh, I thought he said continue without me.
Oh, did he? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I don't know. We can if we want. It's fine.
But her death was off screen, and Carol wasn't even there when it happened. She lost her memories but promptly got them back. She barely missed any time on Earth before she regained her memories. She is never seen dwelling on her choices or any of the setbacks she has because they barely even classify as setbacks when everyone around her tells her she's awesome and amazing, like in the conversation after Alatina falls in the Marvels. There is no moment where Carol has a "I fucked up" realization and everyone says, whether to her face or to themselves, "Yeah, you kinda did." The closest point I can give Carol is that she was manipulated by the Supreme Intelligence, but even that isn't too special since everyone in the Kree Empire was. And lastly,
it's just reminding me of. Oh wait, yeah. It's just reminding me of Thor from God of War Ragnarok when he says to Thrud, "I fucked up," and she's like, "Yeah, you fucked up," and walks away. And that's they might have had conversations later, but that's the last time they interact in that game before the ending.
Well, yeah.
Carol never had any of that.
And then the last time Thrud sees him is when he's reaching out his hand like to her.
Yeah,
and
like those are the last words are the last words she says to her in that in that game.
Yeah, I know.
Carol never has a moment like that. She says, "I fucked up," and they're like, "No, it's okay, fine, you're fine." Anyways, continuing.
Anyways, I just had to take a little break, but I'm back.
Fine.
All right.
Steve's strengths don't necessarily lie in his power set. Yes, he's super
I
strong
hope he doesn't
and
wreck.
more durable than a human should be, but his strength comes from
Imagine
his
if he
strong
does and he just
intuition
keeps
and
talking.
leadership skills. His ability to keep a level head and take control of a horrible situation makes him the de facto leader of the Avengers. However, Steve isn't perfect. He has a tendency to be idealistic. He threw himself at Bucky at great risk to his own well-being with not so much as a mildly thought-out plan to break his programming. Bucky remembering Steve wasn't even due to Steve's plan. It was seriously dumb luck that Bucky didn't pummel him into paste. This next part requires a bit of knowledge on US history to understand. Steve also has an initial disdain for Tony because of his insubordination towards S.H.I.E.L.D. and Avengers. This could primarily be because he still has an idealistic view of the government and its agencies. Remember, Steve was not around during the post-Cold War era. During World War II, the general sentiment of people in the US towards the government was the idea that the government could do no wrong. The American forces and institutions were there to help and protect the American people. During the Cold War and Vietnam War, many U.S. intelligence agencies grew to power, and much of their clandestine activities would come out later, and many citizens would revile the secretive and morally questionable actions of the U.S. government. Steve would have missed the country's gradual transition into general sentiment of distrust in the government.
Man, this guy's going through like all the character stuff, and I really do enjoy that.
That's why it's so fucking good in Avengers. When he said, "I slept for 72 years." I woke up. They said we won. They didn't say what we lost. Like, God, so much to find out about, and it just puts him on that arc where he slowly starts to mistrust S.H.I.E.L.D. and the government. And, it's great.
He becomes the and again, like Tony and Captain America switch places, like ideologically. So it's like sort of.
Tony realizes that they need oversight from the government, and Steve decides that he doesn't trust them to watch over the people. the individual.
I kind of see what you're trying to say. I would phrase it more like they learned from each other.
Yeah, they do. They do learn from each other, but that's what Civil War is basically
and they
about.
change.
Yeah, it's like their interest in what should happen in the future conflict too much, so they have to fight.
Yes, and Steve is wrong. Don't at me. Steve, no.
I kind of agree.
Now is not.
Yeah.
Now is not the time to be. That was not the time to be idealistic, when the entire world is looking down on you.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I love Cap, but I think I agree.
Yeah, me too.
Not happy about saying it though.
I think that was back when I watched how it should have ended. I stopped watching that channel a while ago, but I remember they had this bit where they're all sitting around the table and God, what's his name is like, yeah, see, these are all the different things that you've done. You need oversight.
Ross.
Yeah, Ross. And then Black Widow's like, oh, well, what if we disagree? And he's like, well, then you'll retire. And the entire room starts laughing. Like, oh, yeah, all right, good one. Yeah. That's pretty funny. Oh, boy. Yeah, you're gonna kill Earth's mightiest heroes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. As if they ever could. And it was like, I don't know.
Like, some of them, probably. But then there's ones I'm like, yeah, good luck.
Well, look at Vision. It's like the guy can do basically anything, and he's like, "You're gonna retire, or else." It's like, all right.
You're lucky it's Vision and not someone who has more like human emotions.
Well, yeah. Like morally and mentally, he'll probably agree, but like physically, you can't do anything about it.
Hulk comes back. Yeah.
It would have been interesting to kind of go through more of the ideals of the Accords and different heroes' perspectives after the events of Infinity War and Endgame, but they just completely abandoned everything Civil War built up. So,
but yeah, being more serious, like, Black Widow, she has the pragmatic take that she tries to bring to Steve of like, better to be together, and then we can just decide to go somewhere. Because Steve's like, well, what if they want us to go somewhere where we're not needed, or we need to go somewhere and they won't let us? It's like, yeah, that's not going to be an issue because you will be able to go where you want. Like, no one can stop you. If you feel like you need to go somewhere, then you can. And you'll deal with the consequences, because that's what you've done this whole time. Like, if it's a city-threatening or world-threatening event, you're going to go deal with it regardless of whether the consequences are prison or death. So, like, there's nobody that's going to stop you from doing that, and it's better to be together as a team. If, the hammer comes down, they're like, well, you're not allowed to go to this place and help because it wasn't sanctioned. Well, it's a lot easier to take deal with the Avengers if you split them up.
You also got to think about the fact that
that's what Zemo does.
Hold on. It was just in my head.
Yeah.
I was going to say that. Fuck, what was I going to say?
Baskin Robbins.
Oh yeah, so. You also got to think about the fact that due to the idea of them being more restricted by the government and having to follow orders, you got to think about the fact that they're not able to take such risks that have saved people before because they're probably worried about who it could hurt, and that is a blessing, but also a flaw at the same time, because what if you need to take a risk in order to save everybody else? There's a lot of complications with the Accords in a good way, of just like, when you think about it, as what can they do, what can they not do, how much restrictions are there going to be, do we need this level of care, do we not, do we need some care but also keep our freedom? It's a lot of questions that I wish were answered more in the MCU, but they were fairly answered in Civil War. Fairly, not completely, but
I agree.
Yeah, and like, a character like Tony who was arguing for oversight, and he had a lot of good reasons. But at the same time, this is also the same guy who, when he saw a situation that he could help, he immediately jumped in to protect and did it. He didn't ask anyone's permission.
Well,
so I don't think it's
things change when you have like more and more personal responsibility.
Hold on, Falco.
I just don't. That's all good. I was just gonna say that I don't think it's unfeasible for Tony to eventually come around to the idea of like, yeah, this is also the pragmatic choice, so that we're all together in case there is a situation we need to handle that we're told not to.
Yeah, that's more or less what I was going to say. It's like Tony's basically playing ball with the government. He's like, look, we're still going to do what we want to do, but we're going to play ball with them so we don't get in trouble, and it'll make us easier to make our own decisions in the future. And Cap is being the stubborn guy, being like, no, like, I believe this is right. Like, Tony is totally just trying to mediate, which I think kind of puts him in the right. So.
Well,
again, Tony Stark is the same guy who, when the government told him, yeah, you need to turn over your suit, he's like, I basically gave you world peace. Bye. You're not taking my stuff.
I tried to play ball with these ass clowns.
So, like, seeing him make the, we should play ball and we need oversight. It's like, yeah, well, Ultron also just happened, so I could kind of see how he'd be like, oh, fuck, like, I do need oversight, But, like, it doesn't mean that he's entirely changed. He is the guy who, when push comes to shove, will tell the government to fuck off, and they will go and help where they are needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny, like, in Age of Ultron, he says to Banner, you always roll over, show your belly, whenever someone comes at you, kind of thing. And then Civil War is basically Tony rolling over because he knows he fucked up real bad in Age of Ultron.
Yes.
Yeah, it is sort of like where it's I think that what put him over the edge was definitely the note from that mother. It's like,
Well, it wasn't just a note. She came to him.
That's what I mean. It's like she came to him and told him a story, and then gave him the note. It's like it's not just that.
Yeah, but my son's dead because your AI blew up a city that he was in.
Mm-hmm. When you personalize like the numbers, it gets a lot harder. The death.
Yeah, at that point, it's not about it's not about the pragmatic. Like, well, I had to do this, otherwise millions would have died. Thousands died, so millions didn't have to die. It's like, well, somebody who lost their son doesn't really care. That's just a number. That's just a number to them. But they lost their, their family members.
Their
so that
everything.
means more to them.
Yeah. It's like the death of one is an event, but the death of millions is a statistic. It's like,
who was it that said that?
I don't know. Death of thousands, I believe, but it's like, I don't know. It's just something I've heard. I'm like, it's pretty much true.
I'm gonna look that up, see who said it.
But still, anyways, let's continue.
Back to the video.
Tony even lampshades this when he says,
"Yet you're confused about why they didn't want you around."
An intelligence organization that fears intelligence, historically not awesome.
Steve badgers Tony into simply following orders, but when both Tony and Banner insist that S.H.I.E.L.D. is hiding something, Steve seems to...
It was Stalin.
Oh.
That's all. I just want to say that.
We shouldn't be using it anymore.
Maybe
Stalin
we shouldn't be using his logic.
No. But I think it's still true because
it is, yeah.
It's just that it's sort of like saying like if there's a quote for somebody that we just don't like, it's like, well, we can apply that quote to something else. It's like, don't worry.
Yeah.
Visibly struggled to comprehend that his government would hide things from people. Carol Danvers was written by people who have absolutely zero restraint. It can all be summed up with this line from Maria Rambeau.
You are smart and funny and a huge pain in the ass.
I really...
Can you imagine being told you're funny?
Yeah, it's kind of... No.
I've been told that.
I'm gonna say it again. It's kind of funny. Because
okay, this is different though, Shep. Like,
No,
Yeah.
but this is the reason why I say that is because like this style of writing where another character reinforms you and it's nothing else. Because here's the thing. It's always in practice in which I say like or execution which lines can be delivered about somebody and be fine. Like if someone's really justifiably depressed and you start reaffirming them by telling about your positive qualities to somebody, I think that's justified. But when they do it this way, it's like you're great, you're powerful, you're funny. It's like holy crap.
Like, yeah, it's like the most generic fucking thing you can say in a scene to let the audience know is like they are smart and funny.
They took their cliff note. They took their cliff notes of attributes for her and just put it in the script.
Yeah, it's like we don't need to show you because we told you that's what she does. Like, oh, it's really lazy.
It's funny because I don't. Is there a single moment in this movie where she is funny?
Fair use.
Like I know she cracks quips, but I don't think she's funny.
Well, that's because it's something that they know they have to do instead of something that maybe a character shouldn't be doing.
Fury has a couple of funny lines, like when she, you know, the part where she blasts the lock. I'm talking about the first film. You know the part where she blasts the lock after he got the first one with tape and got like the fingerprints. He's unfolding the tape to open the second one, and she just blasts it. I feel like that was her trying to be funny. Like, haha, I could have done that. I don't find that funny though because it impedes their investigation. Him being like, you let me play with tape back there, like that is funny because I think that is what he would say in that moment. You know, whereas I don't think she would wait to blast the lock on that door, you know, until he got the tape out.
That joke could have been better, but yeah,
should have been better.
And you were the most powerful person I
knew. Well, I mean, that's probably true.
The powerful person I know.
At this point,
it's like, well, again, that's them. It's a prescriptive list. It's how the writer feels about her.
But the thing is, she doesn't know she has powers.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear him say the rest of this.
Okay, I will. I'll put it back. Ah. She had a stroke.
Oh God.
You're probably thinking, but she called Carol a huge pain in the ass. Yeah, but this is during a speech where she's praising Carol for who she was to her. Clearly the pain in the ass comment was not meant to be an insult. It was meant to highlight how determined and insistent Carol is to her. To her, Carol is the determinator and nothing else. Yeah. The character that never gives up and never surrenders on their goal.
I sort of like that idea of that. I mean, it's put in there as a comedy line, but I'm so glad he mentions like it's meant also as a positive. Because that's kind of what it is.
You could see Bucky calling Steve a pain in the ass, you know, when he was skinny.
Well, yeah.
It's like you're a pain in the ass.
He kind of says that.
Fights kind of thing.
He says that in the first movie. It's like, do you always want to get hurt? Do you have a masochist problem? Like,
what? Like, you a masochist?
Yeah. You know,
I mean, he kind of is, to be honest.
You know what I mean?
For reasons beyond pleasure.
I know this is Branson now because all I've seen is hotels and restaurants.
And also, I just looked up. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, it is nice. This makes me miss Pennsylvania. I'm like, man, I miss the hills.
Look at the sky.
The sky. Yeah, this just looks so cozy. I want to go there.
This place is expensive.
Also,
this is where Boogie wanted to go, but by the way.
Oh God, don't even mention that. I just looked up the term laconic because I was curious. Expressing much in few words, after the manner of the Laconians or Spartans. And that's actually a term that Ratatoskr uses in God of War Ragnarok when describing Kratos, I think.
How many fucking references to God of War are we going to have?
Hey,
I love God of War.
I love Buffy, and that's what I'm doing.
My point was, I like this word. I'm going to use it in the future now.
Laconic.
Laconic. Expressing much with few words.
No matter their circumstances. While yes, this is admirable, she has no detrimental qualities to her personality. Even the things we find abhorrent in her are considered positive traits in universe. Her pettiness towards Jan Rog is depicted as strong and magnanimous. Her theft of a random guy's motorcycle is viewed as witty. Her abandonment of the scrolls on Tarnax is viewed as practical. The writers view Carol through the veil of delusion. Now, this is the hardest thing to capture in a hero of any kind, but I think about this one thing when I work on heroes. Being a good and moral person is not about what you get in return. It's all about doing the right thing simply because you believe it is the right thing to do. And my wording was very deliberate because you'll come across heroes who don't agree with other heroes on what the right thing to do is.
It's kind of funny because this is how you create drama still. This is why you have side characters in your story, or like other characters to bounce off of. Because like you have a group of heroes who have different ideas of how things should go forward, or they're planning to defeat the bad guy. And so but it does sort of go toward the one goal, and that's usually like the main character or whatever, the POV character of the show. But that doesn't mean they'll not get into fights or like heavily disagreeable, or to like maybe they'll just cooperate, because they all have their own benefits and detriments depending on what's going on in the plot and in the character. Like it's just instant drama. It's like
Daredevil and Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
It's an easy one to go to.
It's just any show really. Even like the most kiddie shows have this sort of thing. Like, so it's like, I wonder how you screw that up. Wait.
Have everyone agree with the hero. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Solved.
Yeah. That can happen justifiably, but it's like, I know what you mean. As like a bad thing. Like
yeah. Take, for example, the rooftop argument between Daredevil and
Oh my gosh!
They agree on who is evil, but they disagree on the right way to bring them to justice. Batman and Red Hood have a similar dynamic. Another example is Steve and Tony's disagreement on the Sokovia Accords. The safety of government surveillance versus the risk of freedom. Not to sound like a Reddit philosopher, but in the world of fiction, morality is indeed subjective. Not all characters agree on what is right or wrong. And to round out the trilogy, we're going to analyze one of my characters again to show how I apply my own techniques. You'd think I'd talk about that handsome devil known as Book Alastor, but from a design perspective, Alastor was actually not designed to be a hero. He plays a much more dynamic and interesting role in the trilogy that I don't want to spoil. To be honest, most of my characters, even the good guys, don't really qualify as typical heroes, but one character does. Today, we'll be analyzing everyone's favorite editor, Isabella Perea. Isabella Perea goes on a much different journey compared to the rest of the cast.
I think it's just a break. I'm using this now in my videos where it's like I will, whenever a subject changes, I want to take a little bit of a break in between things. I'll use it as a fade in, fade out. But yeah.
Okay.
While most of the characters of Blur Havoc are pre-established forces in the universe, Isabella's story in the trilogy is effectively an origin story. Let's talk about her attributes. Isabella's virtue is the same as Steve Rogers, justice. She's all about treating others fairly and not giving in to negative emotions just because it would feel good to do so. She is made fun of by her peers for trying to take on a rogue state agent named Leia Emery by herself. And to quote Nick Fury, she was hopelessly and hilariously outgunned. Leia managed to choke Isabella with her own arm. It was the equivalent of Jimmy Olsen trying to fist fight Batman. Since then, she's been made fun of and effectively bullied for this incident because her coworkers memed on her for indirectly causing a civil war, which isn't true, but we all know how dunking on people works. Because of this, she tries her best to be as fair as possible to other people since
I feel like this is the self-insert into like stories. The thing is though, I like and don't like this because you're being very direct with sources I don't know, and not many people do.
Yeah, I don't understand why you're using your own stuff to make your point when you can obviously still borrow from other things.
This is not accessible to the majority of people who see this video.
Yep, that's what my point is. I'm not saying it's necessarily wrong, but man, all right.
Or isn't he using it to make a point about how he applies what he's been talking about, like to his own work?
Yes, correct.
Well, yeah. I just prefer if you use different examples and not advertising his own thing.
I don't think it's advertising.
I'm fine with it because he's using it as to show that he sticks by what he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm it's just a little bit of like a little bit of whiplash, but not really. But I'm fine with it.
He did have a fade out, so
yes, he did. That's what I mean. Yeah.
No one wanted to be fair to her at the time. Isabella's code of ethics is that she does not believe in senseless violence. She absolutely refuses to support or approve of any unnecessary violence, such as revenge. Once someone is no longer a threat, she stands down and attempts to arrest them. She does not believe it is her place to be the executioner in combat. This also puts her at slight odds with her allies, but because of her optimistic disposition, her morals have a tendency to rub off on the likes of her bestest friend in the whole wide world, Rise. Don't tell him I said that, he likes to act tough. Isabella has a sense of duty when it comes to cleaning up her mistakes. She could easily allow those who are more equipped, powerful, and experienced to clean it up for her, but she was raised to take accountability for her actions and errors. When given the opportunity to apprehend Leia again, she has a natural sense of anxiety, of course, but she accepts the task. She also has a sense of duty towards her friends and allies. For reasons I do not want to spoil, she exhibits great concern for Book Alastor during the events of Blur Havoc 3, to the point where she asks Rise to speak to Alastor in private. This is despite the fact that she's only known Book Alastor for about 12 hours at that point. As stated earlier, Isabella was relentlessly mocked for attempting to apprehend Leia without authorization. She was also demoted for her insubordination and basically restricted to being a security guard for an entire year. She was basically alone in a city far away from her family with no friends for the majority of the trilogy.
The reason why I'm not pausing, I'm just waiting for not the punchline, but like
I think this is the closing part of the video where he's like, okay, so I talked about what makes a good hero. Here are the examples from stuff you know. Here's how I use it in my writing.
Yeah.
So please subscribe.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm just waiting for the conclusion to how this applies to his character. You know.
Yep.
She also got her ass whooped by Leia twice before joining Blur Havoc. The second time, Isabella lost one of her shoulders and needed to get it replaced with a synthetic prosthetic. She also gets thrown into a team of top brass at Blur Havoc known as Vanguard Team, and is the least experienced soldier/fighter in the team, thus thrusting her into high-stress, high-danger situations against the worst threats the PMC has to face. And finally, Isabella's strong virtue, moral compass, and contagious empathy are all strongly countered by her aforementioned lack of experience and training. In Blur Havoc 3, she is placed in a medic/support role because of this, and can easily be overpowered if left alone. She's the heart of the team, not the brawn. Now that I've completed the trilogy, I can fully explain how this works. No matter if you're writing a hero or villain, they need to be a character first. Start with making them a character first, then use the traits of a hero or villain to round them out and make them into whatever allegiance you want them to be. And on the topic of anti-heroes, they really aren't that complicated. Make a hero who behaves more like a villain on the surface. But the one thing you can't do is have your hero fail to uphold their code. If they can fail in that,
there you go.
What's so spectacular?
What
It kind of brings up, well, what I was talking about very much earlier in the conversation about how, like, an anti-hero can do things, let's say selfish things, and work towards their own means, but they still have that underlying set of principles that if push comes to shove, they're like, all right, like, I can't leave you. You know.
Also, did you see that that recommended video that popped up? Riri
No.
Williams sucks. How not to write a character, and it's 45 minutes. Holy shit,
dude!
We gotta watch that at some point.
Yeah, his stated goal is thus for his characters. So yep, makes sense to me. We're gonna go back a little bit.
You can't do is have your hero fail to uphold their code. If they can fail in that, what's so spectacular about them? Why should we view them as heroes and not just regular ass dudes? The virtue code, ethics, and morals are the difference between us normal people and heroes that people look up to. Take a look at Age of Extinction Optimus for an example of a hero who just throws their ethics out of the window. But in regards to
great reference.
Can someone explain that for a minute? I don't quite remember.
I think he will. Okay. I'm not sure if I could do it justice, but Optimus's general like code that he sticks to in those movies is, he doesn't want to kill you, but if you're trying to like destroy the world, then he will as a last resort. But in that movie, I'm pretty sure he just takes it immediately. Like, all right, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, he just blasts the bad guy. He blasts Kelsey Grammer, and he's dead. When he has Mark Wahlberg at gunpoint, Optimus is just like, "Oh, you have a gun on my friend? Boom. Okay, there he goes."
I think it's worse than that, but I think I don't remember it well enough to tell you.
Yeah, it's I haven't seen it since the theater, so
it's no, since the dark times, since the Empire.
Rogers versus Carol Danvers. Steve is the epitome of what a hero should be, while Carol's heroism is an informed attribute, something we are told, but the reality is very different from the text. As for this series, I will start to move away from character writing to talk about everyone's favorite part of the process, structure. Sounds fun, doesn't it? Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.
Wow, nice. Let's see if anything else. Oh wow.
Good video.
Massively mid. Oh yeah, there's his
Organized Chaos video.
Organized Chaos video, yep.
Captain America Brave New World is the worst probably Captain America movie.
Yep.
Also, if you click info, it brings up the Riri Williams video.
Indeed. I need to go to my OBS so I can go back to that intermission. There. Oh my gosh. What was that?
I don't know. The video finished.
Video finished?
Yeah, the video finished. I heard a meow, but it's just me, I guess.
No, that was the video. That was at the end of the video.
That was just his music cutting out.
Yeah. Oh, it was? I heard a meow. I was like, what the?
Yeah.
But anyways, that I think that was probably one of the best videos we've ever watched on this channel.
I'm glad I picked this one to come back for then.
Yeah.
Is it not the best video we've watched?
There has been videos before Froggo that we've watched, like I think the JXE video on filler content was probably was really good.
Oh, okay.
But this one for writing, I think this is really good for like even for beginners. You can learn a lot from this, and even from people who know what they're doing, or not necessarily know what they're doing, but like have an idea of what's going on, can still learn something from this.
This was a lot more chill than I'm used to. There was no righteous fury this time. I'm kind of
no. It's like not everything we do here is bad video, cringe, like rage and.
Well, you know what I was saying? I really want to see. Maybe I'll see it in my own time, but I really want to see his 45-minute Riri Williams video now.
What's Riri Williams?
Black Girl Iron Man.
Oh, Black Girl Iron Man. Why did you say that?
Because it's true.
I know it's true.
That's 50% of her character.
50%.
What's the other 50%?
Woman
MIT
power.
genius, I guess.
She's real smart. Well, that's covered with Iron Man.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, then it's her whole character, isn't it?
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
He got
Oh shit.
I wasn't ready for this.
So yeah.
Oppressed. How about that? No, wait, that's covered in black. Never mind.
No, she's not.
Oppressed. Oh no! Shush! Shush!
Go ahead, Falco.
No, it's not that. I'm just like, okay, so like, yeah, I guess in closing, I recommend this channel. I'll probably leave a link to it. He needs more support for stuff like this.
I liked just chill motorcycle through the country vibes. I liked that background.
Sometimes I found it distracting, but that's because I'm looking at it. At work, I think this video works a lot better as like background noise. Chick-ching.
Hey.
Chick-ching.
I mean, I find it funny. We paused right on the part where it showed a Hard Rock Cafe and Ripley's Believe It or Not, and we were like, "Oh, it's Branson, Missouri."
Well, it's kind of funny because like the more it went on, I was like, "There's a lot of hotels. This has to be Branson."
Well, I was like, Hard Rock Cafe. There's not too many of those.
Mm-hmm.
I think this has the same kind of appeal as just putting gameplay in the background. Like, it's interesting. Yep. It's an interesting visual.
It is.
I feel like you might have trouble if you have like ADHD or something. That's understandable. Where you're like, oh, you keep noticing things that you want to pay attention to, but you have to dedicate memory to listening to the discussion.
I think sorry. Go ahead.
I think it's definitely a video you could listen to as well as
watch.
Absolutely. But I do agree with Zeddy. I think it was a very interesting background.
Mm-hmm. I really do enjoy it because like that's during his organized chaos thing when he was having a motorcycle, and also like he went to the gun range as a part of his video like footage, so it's like it's quite interesting. All right, so I guess we're closing, and
yep.
So is there anyone else who wants to make announcements or anything?
Nothing at the moment. Not yet.
I don't really do YouTube, so I've got nothing.
There could be other things.
Nada.
But like, can I mention the watch-alongs that I'm a part of now? Am I allowed to do that, Fraga?
No, not yet.
No, you just did.
Okay.
Not until the arcane reactions are out.
Oh, okay. That's fine. But
yeah, just wipe that previous comment from the slate.
Yeah. I just can't give details, but it's fine. Yeah, let's just say I'm a part of something else that you'll maybe be surprised for in the future.
Yeah,
but
I show up after a while too.
Yeah, you do. And so I'm still working on that passion video for Buffy. Gonna do some more voice work tomorrow if I can. And then edit that voice audio. Make sure like nothing beyond it, and then I gotta do videos, video editing, find video footage. It should be fine because like the real popular like episodes that are well rated are usually like very easy to find stuff. So it's like, yay. But yeah, that's about it. There was some hail around here that I forgot to post on my social media, but that's about it, you know. So
subscribe for hail.
Subscribe for hail, yeah. Like
subscribe for hail.
It was like 7:00 in the morning when like I heard the top of the house and it was like it was like we're being like pelted with golf balls. I've never heard like, I thought like it was gonna like damage like come through the roof. Like it was pretty harsh. I was worried about my car. Like
Oh yeah.
so it's like but no, it just dents on top of the car and you can barely see them. Though. But the glass wasn't I was more worried about the glass and stuff like that. I was like, "Oh good. There's nothing wrong with them." So, all right. I'll say goodbye. Make sure to like, subscribe for more weather news.
Yeah. Subscribe to Falco. He's great.
Subscribe to Falco and Falco alone. Don't subscribe to anybody. Anybody else is a slug. I don't know.
Yeah, don't subscribe to any of us. We suck. Falco is the real guy.